the Dyatlov Pass of America. On the night of February 24th, 1978, 5 friends from Yuba City, California, piled into Jack Madruga's turquoise and white Mercury Montego for what should have been a simple evening out. The group consisted of 30-year-old Jack Madruga, a quiet man and former Army serviceman who loved driving. 32-year-old Bill Sterling, a compassionate man who often volunteered at hospitals. 29-year-old Ted, known for his big laugh and gentle demeanor. 24-year-old Jack Hoot, the youngest and most childlike of the group. And 25-year-old Gary Mathias, a Vietnam veteran who had struggled with mental illness, but had been doing well recently. They were all part of the Gateway Gators, a team for adults with mild intellectual disabilities, and they were eagerly anticipating their own basketball tournament scheduled for the following day. They set out for California State University, Chico, about an hour's drive away, to watch a college basketball game. It was an ordinary Friday evening, cool, clear, nothing unusual. After the game ended around 10 p.m., they stopped at a convenience store to pick up snacks, candy bars, soda, and Piesby for beginning their journey home. It was the last confirmed sighting of them alive. When they failed to return home that night, alarm bells rang almost immediately. These were not men who vanished without explanation. Their lives were structured around routine and supported by loving families who knew their patterns intimately. Each of them had prepared for the Gateway Gators' big game the following day. Uniforms were laid out, and none of them would have missed it voluntarily. By Saturday morning, their families had contacted the authorities, and a search was underway. Initially, investigators had little to go on. No one had seen the men on their way back from Chico. Then, on February 28th, a startling discovery was made. Madruga's Mercury Montego was found abandoned on a remote mountain road in the Plumas National Forest, 70 miles from Chico and far off their expected route home. The location was baffling. The narrow, winding road was snowbound in winter and led deep into rugged wilderness. It was not a place one would simply end up by mistake. The car itself provided more questions than answers. It was stuck in a snowbank, but not badly. 5 healthy men could have easily pushed it free. The undercarriage was unscarred, suggesting that Madruga, who was known for being cautious with his beloved car, had somehow driven the unpaved road without mishap. The doors were unlocked, the windows closed, and there were snack wrappers inside from their stop at the store. The keys were missing, but the gas tank was still a quarter full. There was no sign of a struggle, no blood, no footprints leading a wage, a silent car in the snow. Searchers fanned out across the area, trudging through deep snow and frigid conditions. Helicopters scanned from above. For days, nothing was found. As winter dragged on, the search had to be called off due to severe weather. The families of the 5 men were left in agonizing limbo. Spring brought answers, but not the kind anyone wanted. On June 4th, as the snow began to melt, a group of motorcyclists riding through the forest stumbled upon a disturbing sight. The partially decomposed remains of Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling lying side by side near a mountain road, about 11 miles from where the car had been abandoned. They had died of hypothermia. A few days later, searchers found Jack Hoots' remains 2 miles away, his bones scattered by animals. Then came the discovery that would haunt everyone involved. A Forest Service trailer, 19 miles from the car, deep in the woods. Inside was the body of Ted Wyher. The trailer was a bizarre scene. It was stocked with canned food enough to last months. A propane tank sat outside, ready to provide heat. Yet the heater had never been turned on. Wyher had been wrapped in multiple blankets, including sheets torn from the trailer's bedding. But he had still wasted away. His beard indicated he had survived nearly 3 months after the initial disappearance. On the table beside him lay his wallet, a ring, and a gold watch, not belonging to any of the 5 men. Wyher's feet were badly frostbitten. His shoes were missing. Outside the trailer, searchers found Gary Mathias' sneakers. But Gary himself was nowhere to be found. Despite extensive searching in the surrounding forest, no trace of him has ever been located. The discoveries only deepened the mystery. Why had the men abandoned the car in the first place? Why had they trekked nearly 20 miles through snow-covered wilderness, seemingly in no rush, leaving behind a functioning car with gas? Why had Wyher starved to death in a stocked trailer without attempting to use the heater? And what happened to Gary Mathias? Theories sprang up immediately. One theory suggests the men simply took a wrong turn and panicked when their car became stuck. But this explanation falters. Why venture deeper into the wilderness on foot instead of backtracking toward civilization? Another theory posits they were chased by whom no one knows. Perhaps they encountered someone threatening, fled in fear, and became lost. Gary Mathias' disappearance fuels even darker speculation. Some suspect he may have had a psychotic break and led the others into the mountains, though his family insists he was stable at the time. Others believe he may have survived and fled, though there is no evidence to support this. The most haunting possibility is that the men were lured or coerced into the forest by an unknown party. The missing keys, the untouched heater, the strange gold watchall suggest details that don't quite add up. In the decades since, the case has become known as the Dyatlov Pass of America, a reference to the infamous 1959 mystery in the Ural Mountains, where 9 hikers died under inexplicable circumstances. Like that case, the Yuba County 5 leaves behind a tangle of unanswered questions and a lingering sense of unease. For the families, the pain has never faded. Ted Wyher's mother once said, "I can't understand why they didn't come home. They had no reason to be there." The families still wonder if the mountains hold the secret to what happened on that cold February night. A secret buried under snow and time. What remains are fragments of a story. A car abandoned in a lonely forest. Bodies found in inexplicable places. A man missing without a trace. And above it all, a silence as deep as the Sierra Nevada itself.